And now I call to the front Pak Yos Imam Jayadapu to explain to us the challenges of digital transformation for PT Pegadaian. Please join me in giving Pak Yos a warm round of applause as well.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Hope everybody is still awake. If you're not, please go get your coffee in the foyer. I see some yellow jacket. How many of you are actually from Universitas Indonesia? Okay. So if I say UI, yel-yelnya masih ingat? Money. Second, borrow money. Third, move money. Fourth, grow money. So the reason why all these people that have money go to Pegadaian is because they want to save money, and most importantly, they want to grow money. That is the value proposition of Pegadaian today. So we will cater all the people that need money, but at the same time, we will cater all the people that want their money to go. And no other company, no other institution at this point of time able to do that except Pegadaian and the group of BRI. Pak Ferdi already mentioned, the most complete bullion service now in Indonesia is Pegadaian. And this is the way that how we transform ourselves. Jadi teman-teman bisa lihat di sini, everything that you're seeing here is about customer obsessed. What we are trying to do with digital transformation is not about taking lots of technology. That is number two. The most important thing when we talk, we think, and we try to deliver about digital transformation is about how Pegadaian is relevant to their customer. Let me say again. Digital transformation at Pegadaian is about how Pegadaian stay and be relevant to their customers. People below 25, 28 years old will have different needs, with people above 35 to 45 and people above 45. Setuju? And everyone needs a different approach. So that's why we see teman-teman sisi semua lihat bahwa all the people in IT is not really about the people of technical. It's about the people who understand the business process. And that business process coming from the way we understand our customer needs. Betul ya? So teman-teman bisa lihat di sini, digital transformation is about preparing ourselves, adopting our business process to our customer behavior. As simple as that. There are two steps, two phases of digital transformation. When you talk about transformation, for me, personally, there are only two things. One is evolution, the other one is revolution. But the digital transformations that we are doing at this moment is really to align to that. Next slide. Everyone familiar with this term? The only thing that constant is what? Say it with me. The only things that constant is change. Ada dua sih sebenarnya. Satu mati, dua change. Itu pasti ya. Tapi the only thing that stay constant is change. And you can see here, these are the roadmaps of Pegadaian starting 2012. Why? Because that is the first time Pegadaian go online. Pegadaian lahir 1901, tapi baru online in 2012. Can you imagine? Pegadaian born in 1901, but only online in terms of technology up in 2012. And since then, there are lots of changing happens. There are lots of adoptions happens. Why? This is because we listen to our customer. Trivia question. Mungkin angkatan saya sama Pak Ferdi udah tua. We are old. When I was in school back then, basic elementary school, there are 3 needs, basic needs. Apa aja? Oh, kamu seangkatan sama saya. Sandang, pangan, papan. Over time, these basic needs is added. Satu lagi apa? Sandang, pangan, papan. Food, clothes, housing. Over time, there's adding more. Transportation, correct? Over time, there are 2 more. Electricity and then internet. Is this the final basic needs? What new basic need coming to you as an individual on your daily life? I don't know. Yes, the one in the black. Sorry? Okay. We have 5 basic needs, 6 basic needs that we already identified. Yeah? Housing, food, clothes, transportation. Now you have internet and electricity. Do you think that you have another basic need on your daily life? Sorry? Yeah. Transportation already mentioned. Let me help you with the answer. The new basic needs on your daily life is called application. Am I saying things correctly? How often that you are in conversation that, gue pengen lakuin ini, I want to do this. Why don't you use that application? Setuju? Next slide. Nah, and then that applications need to be available yesterday. Kalau dari Pak Ferdi selalu always push us, from the business people always push us. Can we have our business app ready yesterday? Not tomorrow, not the day after tomorrow, not months from now, but yesterday. So we have all this technology in our system, in our house, to be able to deliver that application, because application is now the way that we interact with you guys, the way that we interact with our customer. That's it. Maybe you are interacting with our Wi-Fi, but the one that stays at your fingertip is your application. Next slide. Now remember when I asked about the vision of Pegadaian is to be the leader in gold ecosystem. Now we realize that we cannot work by ourselves. We need to build the ecosystem. So that's why we partnership with many people. You can buy your gold, you can cicil emas Anda, you can open your gold saving from Brimo application. Or maybe after that from many other applications, because that is the way that we are trying to reach and to be able to deliver the second mission of Pegadaian, which is providing what? Financial inclusion. We want to make sure that every single of you are able to have your gold starting from Rp10.000. Tadi Pak Ferdi
profit only 2.4 2021 and 2021 approximately around 7 trillion. We go 300% profit in the last 4 years. That's the point of the financial. And the second one, the question maybe I already answered a bit the rural, right? So using the agency, one of the way to tapping them. So it's also reduce the cost because we using we pay the variable cost from them. And the new thing also, using the apps. One of the way using the apps, IOS, that one of the way to the young people in the suburb also can use to buy, sell gold, saving gold, gold deposit, and doing the pawn from the digital. So don't need to using the physically. And the last one is about Propsinta Diponegoro Cicil Mas comparing. What the advantage we have the on-bank brick of the gold comparing with banking. So if banking need to time to the gold is ready, we have 24 hours ready the gold if you need it for the gold installment. That's the first advantage. The second advantage, our outlets around Indonesia are 4,000, right? If you physically need to get ready fast, also you can get ready fast. So it's been the ecosystem will be already preparing for them. And lastly, you can deposit also. In other competitor, you can deposit your gold installment become a gold deposit. You don't get any yield, but if you go to us, you can put your gold installment become gold deposit, and you get yield above 1%, around 1% above to that. So it's one of the way to adding our competitiveness in the gold installment. Maybe all of the questions will be answered.
Okay, additional information to second question here, staying relevant to the rural areas. Pak Ferdi earlier mentioned that we are part of a conglomerate called BRI Group, yeah. And only Pegadaian and BRI and PNM that reach this rural area in Indonesia, none other. Comparing ke bank yang lain, they don't have this coverage all the way to the rural areas. Why? Do you know which bank has and operate its own satellite system? Anyone knows? Huh? BRI. And that is the only bank in the world that has its own satellite. I was part of BRI that developed the system in BRI. So we are under the holding of UMI, Ultra Micro. So we are basically tapping to the BRI network. So that is how we reach all these customers in rural area. We are tapping to the BRI system. We are tapping to the BRI colocation outlet. So we are not only have our own outlet, but we also work and tap using BRI outlet all these in the rural areas. Yeah. So that's the additional information for the second question. Mohon.
We still have time for another round of questions. Yeah, one more question. Three. Yeah. Okay. Pink, black, and black. So Bruno, pink. Yeah, and pink is. Yeah, you give one question for her. How many mics do we have? Just so we know, we only have one. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Right. You can ask your questions. I remember, and yes, you. That's right. I remember.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Cut Nadia. Special for Pak Yosi Manjaya Dapu. Izin memperkenalkan diri, saya Cut Nadia Prasilo, angkatan 17, Abang. Okay. The presentation was very interesting. We gained a lot of knowledge. We have just heard how extensively digital transformation has been implemented at PT Pegadaian. I have two questions. The first question is, what are the biggest challenges and strategic opportunities for Pegadaian's HR in utilizing AI and IT for the future? And the second is, how does Pegadaian balance the efficiency of AI with the essential human touch in human resource management? That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cut Nadia. Yes, yes, that's right.
Good morning, good afternoon everyone. My name is Sugianto from Universitas Indonesia. My question for PT Pegadaian, is it any strategy from PT Pegadaian to financing small and medium enterprise in Indonesia? Consider small and medium enterprise in Indonesia contribute in economic growth in Indonesia, which is how can you finance business owner which is including category not bankable to have credit from banks? Is it any strategy from PT Pegadaian to financing them? Thank you. Which is maybe the business owner have collateral such as land or any other properties. Thank you.
And one more. Yes.
Thank you. My name is Novesa from Universitas Gadjah Mada. I think my question will relate to marketing strategy. So a lot of people still think of PT Pegadaian mainly as a pawn shop, just like Pak Yos said before. Since the name itself means pawning, right? PT Pegadaian. But like you mentioned, Pegadaian has actually expanded and now offers many financial services beyond pawning. Given this, how has the company been working to change that perception and help people see it as more than just a pawn shop? And in your view, how long do you think it will take for the public to really recognize PT Pegadaian as full financial service provider other than pawn shop? You also mentioned that different demographics need different approaches. And could you elaborate on how these approaches differ in your rebranding efforts? Thank you.
All right, three very good questions, and I give the floor to the speakers.
Oke, Nadia tadi ya? Ya. Kamu TN berapa? 17 ya? Oke, pertanyaannya related sama human capital ya? Ya. Oke, di kami, the organization called human capital, not human resources. And then we have two distinct, I would say, human capital. One is what we call SHC, Strategic Human Capital, and the second one is what OHC, Operations Human Capital. Now, currently in our company, we are basically also revamping our human capital system, really to identify by system all the capabilities and competencies of our employee. So we are preparing that through the system. We'll be able to analyze the gap. If we want to promote someone from one level to another level, currently we're still doing it manually, put it that way, but it's already in the system. But with AI, we're basically able to identify his performance, his experience of trainings, his list of certifications, his list of assignment, and then AI will basically doing the scoring. So next time, the system will be able to tell if Pak Ferdi wants to promote someone, the impact is not only for him, but for others to refill. And if from another move to fill this position, the position that he's going to leave is also need to be filled by someone else. So that is something that will be taken care by system, so the system will be able to identify. But when it comes to recommendation, that is how far the system will go, Nadia. Why? Because at the end of the day, this is where the human touch kicks in. Pak Ferdi been with the company for years. Our president director, CEO, been with the company for what, 33 years. 33 years, 33 tahun. He knows individual by name, he knows individual by character. So even the system say, okay, Pak, for this position, these are the list of the people. He will be able with Komite HC. The committee of HC, every time we want to promote something or try to understand an individual, we have a committee meeting. From there, the human touch kicks in. Because we know exactly, our CEO knows exactly the track record of this individual. Yeah, so we keep balancing from there. The system will help us identify the shortlist. But when it comes about final decision, this is where people ask from board of directors, basically will have keputusan bersama, collegial decision, untuk benar-benar make a decision who's going to fill in that position, who's going to promote, or who's are we going to send abroad through our corporate university? So that kind of procedures that we are having at the moment. Hopefully answer your question here. Okay.
Adding some from earlier, but efficiency between AI and human capital is interesting. In one of the KPI, we call it key performance indicator in the human capital, is like the productivity of the people. So the way from the productivity, what is important of AI? Basically, AI is changed. First process of the people doing is collecting data and collecting data from the first. Because usually if you collecting data is take a time and making process more longer. With using AI, they help people to less and then to teach them to more doing the analyze data compared just collecting data. That's the way what AI and efficiency compared with human capital. Hopefully, currently our productivity per each person is around 200 million. So hopefully we goes to around 350 million in upcoming years for one person. It means that people can get more decision maker than comparing them only to collecting data. That's the way we calculate the effectiveness of the AI for human capital. And then the next one is about Mr. Sugianto, about SME. It's interesting because I mentioned a lot about pound, mentioned a lot about bullion or bank emas, but I still did mention about non-pound business. We call it with non-pound is we have a holding Ultra Micro as mentioned before. We did lending for the SME below 10 million rupiah and no collateral base. One of them is Kur Syariah. This is one of the way we go to visible not bankable customer. But still, we still learn from there because we need to have a better AO, the people that doing the lending for them. This is one of the using the data, using the credit scoring is one of the way we reduce the risk, especially for the visible not bankable. But we already goes to there. Currently with BRI and PLN, we tapping around 45 million customer for SME. And Pegadaian around 15 million and others is around 30 million. So we go to SME also. But for this SME, not only in the non-pound business, we go to pound also. But that pound that below 7 million or 5 million rupiah, we go for the SME also. That's one of the way we doing the SME business. And next from Diponegoro about it's interesting because marketing strategy is one of the important thing that sometimes have a not better discussion, like a long discussion between BOD because the branding of Pegadaian quite strong, mengatasi masalah tentang masalah is quite strong. But if we changing, sometimes in the BOD said our core business is pound, so how we can so one of the way we launch string. Tricks one of the way we doing the digital product. So hopefully it will be changing and focusing in the gold. Also with bullion, if you ever heard bullion, and some office we call it Lion Balmas, is one of the way we diversify our product not only in the pound business and goes to gold and goes to digital. But we need a time, as mentioned before, we need time to increasing market share, especially the gold. Because as mentioned before, our brand is the leader of the gold ecosystem. So we goes there. So we have the fabric for producing gold, and we have in the lower in the supply, and then we have also sell the gold. Not only gold this time, we go to digital gold, we go to gold pound. Is the way that's why our vision is changing. Not only pound, but we go to the leader of the gold ecosystem. It's the way that we change it. But as the branding is quite strong, we still develop. We have to diversify new product, diversify new launch service that we do. Maybe this answer.
Siapa tadi namanya yang nanya? Dari Undip ya? Sorry, UGM, sorry. If you see our booth di depannya, ada tulisan tree. Tapi perhatikan, if you notice tree by Pegadaian. By Pegadaian is smaller compared to the tree. Now, is it Pegadaian brand changing? Yes. Is Pegadaian logo changing? Don't know. Is Pegadaian tagline mengatasi masalah tanpa masalah changing? Maybe. Is it going to happen? Maybe. But at this point of time, what we can do is we are basically making sure that we cover all the possible channel that we want to have the touch with our customer. And we strengthen our brand through three. Because remember when I delivered my presentation, I said that Pegadaian is not only for the people that need money, but Pegadaian is also for the people who wants to grow their money. And that is the marketing branding that we are trying to do at the moment, because the bullion bank itself is only granted by President Prabowo early this year to us. So it's still in the process. But believe me, when we say Pegadaian is moving forward, we are moving forward because our parent, BRI, is also moving forward. Back years ago, BRI adalah bank by name ya, bank rakyat, banknya wong cilik. But the perceptions of BRI changed after they launched their Brimo. So this is exactly the same journey that currently happened with Pegadaian. The only different and the only value proposition that different with our holding is because we have the gold services. And we are backed up. Kami didukung, disupport by BRI itself. That's my additional.
Thank you very much. I hope you'll join me in giving another round of applause for our two very good speakers on Pegadaian.